2 more enchanted cards were revealed, even more Sing Together cards, and Pigeons! Let's check it out. What's up, Illuminators? It's Charlie and Mateus back. We're nearing the end of reveal season. Over half of the cards have been revealed so far, and let's check them out now.
Let's do it.
Let's start with the enchanted cards, and up first we have Rapunzel, High Climber. This was the legendary card for Emerald, one of the legendary cards which we saw already, and now we are seeing the enchanted version of Rapunzel. Rapunzel's first enchanted card, can you believe it?
That is true, yeah. Apart from the promo cards, right? This
Apart
is
from the
actually
promos, yeah.
the first enchanted card. It was long overdue.
Yep.
We have it here now. And as we said before, right, it actually checks out for this, and the next card we'll show. We saw those pictures as a concept art not long ago in one of the events.
Yeah,
now
I think
it's confirmed.
it was shared by Laughing Place, I believe.
I believe
on,
so, when they were in
website.
the event. And then, yeah, there you go. So we get the full confirmation. They are for Reign of Jafar. And they look stunning. I'm having a hard time knowing which one is my chase now. I think it's still Bambi, but this
Bambi
is so
incredible.
beautiful.
Yeah, the art style this set on the Enchanters. I mean, I think every single set, like, it's really awesome to see them taking a specific approach to the style. They're not like all different ways to interpret the characters. It's all unified, and I really love that approach.
And again, as we said in the previous video, this is all about surrealism, so it makes sense. And we have Viv Tanner again with an Enchanted, so that's probably why I love this card. And obviously with collaboration with Ellie, so super cool. Can't wait to find out the other ones. And talking about the enchanted cards, should we look at the next one we got revealed?
So yes, it is Stitch, Experiment 626. We haven't actually seen this card yet, so we'll look at the effect. This is a 3-cost uninkable 3/3 questing for 2. He has 2 abilities. The first one is So Naughty. When you play this character, each opponent puts the top card of their deck into their inkwell, and stealth mode at the start of your turn. If this card is in your discard, you may choose and discard a card with the inkwell symbol to play him for free, and the end is play exerted.
It's almost like you're helping your opponent to rump.
It's a really interesting one. So yeah, as Matteo said, like that first ability, every time you play him, which means when you also play him from your discard, your opponent is going to be getting to ink a card and accelerate their ink. Maybe if you've got something to manipulate which card is on the top of it. But even then, I'm not sure like it's enough that advantage you're giving your opponent to play a 3/3 that quest for 2. Yes, it's nice to have him like always there in your discard to be able to play him, but I don't know, I just don't see it.
It is tricky, right? Because he's not that expensive in the first place.
Yeah.
Like to play, of course, he is an inkable. So in this case, you turn into inkable in a way.
Yeah.
Because you're using the other card, right? But he's not the best stat line either. It's almost like they're trying to make something cool with the relationship between Lilo. Because Lilo has the voodoo effect as well, right? Of playing it. And that also reminds me, so if you're ever activating the second ability, you need to decide that before you even draw your card.
Yeah.
So there's the whole pressure.
Yeah, I guess the difference with Stitch, at least, is you get to play him for free. Lilo, you have to pay the ink.
No, and I get that, but you still have to have an ink in your hand.
You still,
that's the cost to play
that
this,
is
right?
true, and that's
you are sacrificing a card
before the draw step. So yeah, it's a funny one because like we already have Jasmine disguised in Sapphire who has the same stat line.
Yeah. And is inkable.
And is inkable, yeah. So I don't know whether it's enough of an advantage. Maybe if you entered play not exerted, or maybe if you use him like in an amber deck where you want to be putting things into your discard. Maybe, but
it doesn't make sense. It simply doesn't make sense.
And I'm guessing this is going to be the legendary card in Sapphire because the ability is very unique. Would be my guess.
You're probably right. Are we missing something here? I'm actually questioning myself. Are we missing something here? Unless Jasmine is getting out, right, of rotation, but no one plays Jasmine anyway, right?
I don't understand this one, but I absolutely love the art. This is. Yeah, as Matteo said, this was another one of the 2 concept arts that was teased. We guessed it would be an Enchanted, and here it is. And yeah, I think this one is an amazing example of that surrealism approach with the multiple stitches in the background.
He's licking the screen, like the card.
He's breaking the fourth wall.
So
it's absolutely amazing. This might be my chase card this set. So I'm happy that maybe he's not very playable, so that'll keep the price down.
But we could be wrong. Some people are actually very excited about the effect. I'm struggling because I still find hard to. It's not every archetype of deck that you can make Lilo work. I know it's different. Don't get me wrong. I know it's different. But just the condition of being right at the beginning, you decide you don't know what you're drawing after, and everything else, right, related to that. I don't know.
The one fun thing you could do actually, because we're talking about start of the turn effects, if you're playing this in an amber Sapphire, you could discard the Lilo with Stitch's ability, and then bring the Lilo straight back into play when you bring Stitch into play.
Oh.
So because that would work, right?
Can you do that back to back?
Yeah, because they both get added to the bag. So you're going to say, I'm going to discard the Lilo to play Stitch. And then after that, you can say, no, I'm going to play the Lilo for 2 inks. So
all that before even drawing your first card.
All that before drawing a card.
That is a good point. Okay.
But I still don't know whether that's like a synergy you're going to want.
No, I don't know. But again, that excites me more when you see something like that working. And obviously, it's Lilo Stitch. So.
Yeah. And we're talking about the card a lot, which means there is something there. It's interesting.
Please tell us in the comment. I'm sure you know what we're missing here.
Let us know down below the best synergy you can think of for Stitch, because I want to make this card work. It looks beautiful. Amazing. Yeah.
We need to get that first. Okay, so that's what we have for Enchanted for today. And let's start or go straight to dual ink cards.
Yes, and the first dual ink card we're going to be looking at is Antonio Madrigal, Friend of All, a 4-cost inkable, a 2/2 questing for 2, with the ability Sure They Can Come. Once during your turn, whenever one of your characters sings a song, you may search your deck for a character card with 3 cost or less and reveal that card to all players. Put that card in your hand and shuffle your deck, which a really, really interesting ability. We've seen these kind of what's called in Magic tutor effects, these effects that allow you to look through your deck for something specific. And I mean, we've seen a lot of support in these Amethyst decks for singing. Lots of songs within the Madrigal deck that will let you do that. And yeah, this is a great way to kind of find those cards you need in order to fill your hand. And if you're singing a lot, I mean, at least if you're singing once per turn, then you can.
And again, it will fit with the Madrigal deck. I can't remember certainly. We'll show on the screen if it is related to that. But we saw not long ago the Guardian, right, of Antonio. Yeah. And we were like, for sure, we will need more Antonios to play. I don't remember if the Guardian allows you to play for free. Maybe that's what we're looking for. So there's a whole relation behind it. But obviously, you can get any card, 3 or less.
Yeah, I think probably the one you would be looking at in this ink combination is maybe an Aerial Spectacular Singer. Yeah. Maybe the Mirabelle, who can also sing for 5. I think those 2 cards. Maybe Alma Madrigal as well. So
I was just going along the Madrigal synergy.
So there are lots of options, but definitely a fascinating one. It's really powerful being able to look for kind of the character you need in this in combination.
And it's once during the turn as well. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, exactly. And it doesn't even need to be him singing. Exactly. We believe from the translation, it's just
that's true. We're translating this very literal, but I think it will be any character that sings, to be honest. It makes more sense.
Another really interesting dual ink card next is Cusco Impulsive Llama. He's a 7-cost 5/5, questing for 2, and he's an Amethyst Emerald dual type Glimmer and also a Floodborn, so you will be able to get him out a little bit sooner most of the time because he shifts in at 4. And he also has the ability, what is he doing here? When you play this character, each opponent chooses one of their characters and puts it on the bottom of their deck. Then each opponent may draw a card. Really great way there to kind of get rid of your opponent's characters, especially if you've been able to remove some of them already. In Amethyst, you're going to be doing a lot of challenging, so maybe you can kind of get down the characters that are exerted and then play Cusco to get the ones that are ready and get them onto the bottom of the deck.
And I think what is really interesting as well is the whole each player or each opponent chooses it, so it's bypassing ward.
Yep.
It's similar to what Madame Medusa.
Lady Tremaine.
Sorry, similar to what Lady Tremaine does, right? So it's always an advantage.
Yep.
Obviously, you have to plan a lot to make sure that the opponent to discard the card you want them to discard.
Yeah.
And then it comes with the benefit on the opponent's side that they can at least draw the card as well. So there's a balance there. But I love the idea that it's like him pulling the lever and you're just dropping your opponents down.
It's definitely a nice tool for the same combination. And there is a lot of synergy with the pull the lever card. If if your opponent draws a card and then you make them discard that card, then they don't really gain too much out of it. A great follow-up if your opponent displays one character on the board. And yeah, I think a lot of potential with this one. I'd be curious to see what people are able to do with it.
It's just expensive. I think even with the shift, it's so hard to actually make it work.
Yeah, but a 5, if you do shift him and you get a 5/5 questing for 2 on 4, I think it's reasonable.
But that's the problem.
As well.
But would you put in your deck unless you have a lot of Cusco?
I mean, I think there's a possibility. There are decent Cuscos in Emerald.
I like
Amethyst,
that big No, but that's also 7, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm thinking about the 2-cost Cusco Disguised Llama.
The Amethyst one.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's probably
true. And a lot of people play with that, right? When you have it. Yeah, that is true.
So we'll see. It's another really interesting ability on him. Next up, we have Gyro Geolus, Eccentric Inventor, a 3-cost inkable, 1/3 questing for 1. He is a Ruby Sapphire dual type Glimmer with evasive and the ability I'll show you. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -3 strength. turn. Yeah. So in this color, probably you'll want to reduce that strength so you can then take out a character with a brawl, a small Sisu, or maybe just be able to allow your Maui to not have to kind of take too much damage in a challenge. So yeah, a perfectly fine card. The fact he has evasive means he is going to be doing something even after he's been played. So yeah.
No, that's not bad. Yeah.
Not too much to say about this one, but the art, amazing. And actually, speaking of the art, I just want to call out the fact that during the artist's main stage on Discord, they did talk about how they were trying to find ways in the art to blend the different color languages for the different ink colors, and you can certainly see this here. So it's got the swoops and swirls of the sacred geometry on the doors, but then you can see kind of the more ruby influence in the background there with the like kind of more chaotic shapes and patterns, and
the colors as well.
Yeah. But it contrasts really nicely in this card, where it's cool. Able to really create those strong differentiations between the two ink identities. And if ever you're curious about those, Mateus made a video all about the color language.
We're going to link it just up here somewhere.
It's always a good one to look at. Next up in Ruby Steel, we have a really cool card. This is Mushu, Your Worst Nightmare, a 6-cost inkable for 6, questing for 2. He's a Floodbone, so he'll shift in at 4, and has the ability all fired up. Whenever you play another character, they gain Rush, Reckless, and Evasive this turn, which is actually kind of crazy. Synergizes super well with the other Mushu card, Majestic Dragon, we already saw. The one that allows you to gain 2 lore every time one of your characters banishes another character in a challenge. We do have a new shift target for Mushu, the 3-cost Mushu revealed this set. But I think the most interesting thing about this is you don't have a choice in it. So because your characters are gaining Reckless, it means that once Mushu's on the board, every character you play at that point has to challenge if they're able to.
Yeah, they can sing. Let's not forget
they can't sing, not the turn you play them. So the turn you play them, all they can do is challenge. Normally a character with Reckless can sing, but only after their ink is dried, right?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the character would, if your opponent has something exerted and you want to play a character that would,
because the turn you played. My bad. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's only the turn you play. So it's great if you want to take down your opponent's threats. Great if your opponent maybe doesn't have anything on the board. But it does mean that you will be forced to challenge even if you don't want to. So some really interesting design space there.
That's cool. Yeah, you can do that as well if you want to target a location and you don't want to get damage at least. Yes.
Yeah, very
but
good.
You lose your control at that point because as you're saying, every character you play, and it's just you. It's just you. Your opponent doesn't go through that either. Yes. So it's an effect that you want to use if you really want to go into the offensive stage, right? Yeah. I just love how long is the definition of the 3 effects now. Yes. They can challenge the turn they play. They can quest and must challenge if able, and they can challenge characters if evasive. Like the longest explanation ever.
Great way to take out Diablos. That's always like the judge of a good card is like, does it help deal with Diablo? And I think this is it's
cool. It's
really
interesting.
Fun one. And then another card from Mulan, Ruby Steel. This is 1-cost. Action, uninkable, light diffuse. Deal 1 damage to your chosen character for each exerted character you have in play. It could be it could be a nice replacement in this particular ink combination for something like Fire the Cannons. If you are able to set up that board and then, as long as you have at least 2 characters when you play this, you're getting at least 2 exerted characters. You're getting the same benefit as Fire the Cannons, and it can be a lot more, especially if you're able to set up a wide board. You can protect your characters with something like Pete, so they can't be banished before you're able to use this. And I really like.
For me, it's a no-brainer. I know that Fire the Cannons, there is no requirement behind it, but for me that's a no-brainer. I would run more of this.
I don't know about a no-brainer, because sometimes Fire the Cannon is something you want to play on turn 1. So if your opponent plays something like maybe a Cinderella who can sing, you might want to use Fire the Cannon at that point in order to banish them before they can start singing.
But does it do 2 damage?
It does 2 damage.
Oh, okay. There's so many mistakes. You should cut all of them. That's okay. For some reason, I thought it was equal. I thought it was 1 damage.
No. It's 2 damage, and this, you can start playing it. You can't play this on turn 1 because it will do 0 damage.
Yeah, exactly.
It can only start on turn 2, and even then you're only doing 1 damage. So it does serve a different function, I think. But an interesting one that I think is
because this you wouldn't do in the beginning anyway. For me, that's more of a late game type of card, right? But you're right. If you want to remove that immediate threat, Fire the Cannons will be more effective.
Next up in Amethyst Sapphire, we're looking at the Blue Fairy Guiding Light, a 2-cost inkable, 2/2 questing for 1. She has evasive and she has support. Another dual ink card, really blending the two What am I talking about?
The
identities of the game. So yeah, a nice one there. Again, it's always good when you've got a character with evasive because they can just keep questing.
And that one is interesting, exactly, because a lot of the support cards we see don't have evasive, right?
Yeah,
so you're like, oh, it's so risky. You might get that support once. This one will probably survive a little bit longer. If you're gonna have it in your deck, that's another question. But, but it is cool.
Very true. Next up in Amethyst Steel, we have Lena Saberwing, Pure Energy, a 3-cost inkable, 1/3 questing for 1. Another character with evasive. And they also have the ability Supernatural Vengeance, Exert, deal 1 damage to a chosen character. And I actually think that's a pretty good use of evasive because, you can exert Lena and then she's going to be protected more or less with her her evasive. She doesn't have ward, thank goodness. So she will hopefully be protected in most cases, and you can deal 1 damage to chosen character. No restrictions. It's of course because it's steel. So another one that's actually quite cool.
I actually really like this one. Yeah.
Another card I know you like, Matis. This is a card hypnotizing Python, a 4-cost, uninkable 3/3 questing for 2 with the ability Look Me in the Eyes. Whenever this character quests, chosen opposing character gets -2 strength and reckless until the start of your next turn, which is it's a very, very fun one because you basically mean that you almost make them useless.
You're like, attack me or challenge me, but you will probably not do much damage.
Yeah, so a very fun one. Just trying to think what deck this really works in. I think it's probably a little bit too expensive for like an Amber Emerald aggro deck, but maybe more in like the Singing deck or something where you just want to really disrupt your opponents. But it's really cool to see another card.
Can I go in a Shernadog deck? I'm just thinking of the color skin. I don't know.
I think Shernadog, you probably want to be playing things a little bit more like cheaply. I think 4-cost and Inkables maybe a little bit too high in a deck like that. So
just so beautiful. I imagine that if he wasn't an uncommon and if he wasn't also an uncommon character per se, I could easily see this as one of the Enchanted. It looks so fantastic. Amazing. But I don't think it's happening.
I'm just surprised that it's not like a discard effect or something. I thought because we've got Hypnotize, which is card discarding.
It'll be more related to that, right? But I'm glad it's not, though.
I'm glad it's not. Next up, we have Alice, clumsy as can be. Alice is an Emerald Ruby Jewel Glimmer, 6-cost inkable, 2/6, questing for 2. She is a Floodborn, so
another
she'll shift
Floodborn
in at 3 with the ability Accident Prone. Whenever this character quests, put 1 damage counter on each other character. Really fun one there as well. I think is going to synergize really well with the Queen of Hearts Unpredictable Bully in your damage deck, Matthias.
I love it. I can't wait to put in the deck. And we got some comments already. People say, can you make sure that you update the Alice deck straight away when this new set comes out? We'll do it because it's one of my favorite decks at the moment.
Yeah, it's funny the way they've kind of decided to do the dual inks. It's like the Ruby Emerald is all about Alice, the Amber Sapphire is all about the puppies. So it does mean that all of our theme decks are getting a lot of upgrades, which is good for us.
And it's cool as well because when I think on Alice initially, I would think more on Sapphire, I would think more on support, I would think more in completely different. Then suddenly they're like, no, let's change the approach, and I do like it because I think this is so much more exciting. And what I was saying, another Floodborn, I'm not saying another Floodborn Alice. I'm just saying that we haven't been seeing any storyboard Alice since the beginning. We will see in a bit, surprisingly. I think it's the first storyboard Alice.
So,
I think so, and it's so cool. I just love Alice so much.
And then the last dual ink card for us today is Walk the Plank. It's an Emerald Steel dual ink, action, 3-cost uninkable. Your pirate characters gain Exert, banish chosen damage character this turn, which is... we've seen quite a lot of support across the last 2 sets for Emerald Steel pirates in this dual ink combination. There are plenty of low-cost pirates. We know Captain Hook, Forceful Duelist, is getting a reprint, so he is a perfect candidate. Because basically, being able to turn all of your pirate characters into a Cheshire Cat is kind of incredible, especially if you're using something like Fire the Cannon. It's easy to put the damage on them. In Steel, there are plenty of ways to deal damage. So, I think... could be one to watch. Could be a surprisingly good one. It's a shame it's an action and not an item.
I was about to say it's not as strong because it's not an item. It's a one-off.
And of course, it is quite similar to Ring the Bell, which is an action which allows you to banish a chosen damage character, but it's only one. If you set up a board of pirate characters, you've got some characters with damage on, you can do a lot more damage.
The main difference is Ring the Bell, you don't need to exert, right?
Exactly,
but again, it's just one versus a number
of
pirates.
And I wonder if this is an indication that Ring the Bell might be a card that gets rotated out.
I wonder. I don't think it was ever overpowered enough. That
but it also never really saw play, right?
It is in my deck. in my damage deck. We'll probably go away, to be fair.
So that is it for the dual ink cards. We're going to fill in the tracker right now.
And there you go.
And then we will move over to Amber. And starting us off in Amber is one of those Sing Together songs we mentioned. It Means No Worries is a 9-cost, uninkable, Sing Together 9 song. Return up to 3 character cards from your discard to your hand. You pay 2 less for the next character you play this turn. And actually, I think a really interesting one. Because it's Amber, of course, you have access to singers. So even though it costs 9 to sing, if you play a singer 3 on 1, a singer 4 on 2, and then a singer 5 on 3, you can sing this right away. But I think actually you probably will want to be singing this a little bit later in the game once you've managed to put some characters into your discard pile. One really cool synergy I kind of immediately jumped out to me is with Kristoff Reindeer Keeper. If anyone watched the live stream of the Disney Lorcana event that happened in Ravensburg, Tim from the German team over there was playing a really fun version of Amber Steel that was running Kristoff. And Kristoff is his cost is reduced for every song card you have in your discard. So if you're able to play him once and your opponent banishes him, every time you play him, he's free because you've still got those songs in your discard pile. So you can just keep bringing him out and again and playing him very cheaply, which is going to be a lot of trouble for your opponent. And also the fact that it's reducing the cost of the next character you play as well.
And of course, if you don't remember, Sing Together just means that you can use multiple characters to sing the song in opposite of just one or hard casting. But you cannot combine hard casting with singing.
Yeah, you can't use ink and singers. You have to do it. So, I do really like this one. I'll be curious to see if it's able to be fitted into like an Amber Steel songs, because obviously the uninkable count is already quite high. But I think as things rotate out and we see different songs getting maybe removed from the metagame, it could be one that is interesting going forward.
It means no worries.
Someone said in the comments that your singing wasn't very good, Matthias.
I know who said that as well. He always criticizes me.
We're just joking, Taylor.
It's all good.
Yeah. Next up, another singer we have, Clawhausen, Front Desk Officer, I think is what it says. The image quality that was shared wasn't the best. But yeah, Clawhausen, 3-cost inkable, 1/4 questing for 2. He is a bodyguard, and he's also a singer 4, which is quite a fun one. So you can sing a song and then put him into the bodyguard position and protect your characters. It's interesting that it also quests for 2, so even if you're not singing songs, he is still a reasonably good quester, and I think in those bodyguard decks could work well.
It's just awesome to see him. I love the pose. I love the donut. I'm so hungry right now. I just love this.
As a Steel Song player, I don't know if I could see a spot for him in the deck right now. I think there are the better singer 4s that you can play on turn 2. I don't think the bodyguard is necessarily that relevant.
There is a little thing though. He's a detective.
He's a detective.
Look at the classification. He's a detective.
We don't have that many in the game right now, right? We have Mickey, Donald Duck.
And I think we have just the... Is it the Donald
Duck? Basil. All of the Basils are going to be
one day, I think that detective thing, that keyword will do something.
I hope so. When they introduce a keyword, I'm hoping there's going to be a payoff, and I'm very impatient. I want it right now. Next, we have Joey Blue Pigeon, a 3-cost inkable, 3/3, questing for 1 with the ability. I've got just the thing. Whenever this character quests, you may remove up to 1 damage for each of your characters with bodyguard. More support for your bodyguard decks for those out there who want to build them. We do have some fun cards this set for bodyguards, so
including more pigeons, which also has bodyguards, so they synergize. It's just plenty of pigeon, and I'm all for that.
I love the pigeons in the film. They're like one of the funniest parts of Bold, and it's great that they're getting some cards. And I know Ravensburg are quite big fans of pigeons because they do have a Pigeons board game. So maybe we'll see a tie-in. Maybe they're gonna when you buy the Pigeons board game, there's gonna be a promo card.
I bet actually it's probably gonna be the steel one because the strong one. We're gonna talk about that in a bit.
Yeah, maybe. Next up, we have Rhino, 1/16 Wolf, 1-cost inkable, 1/2 questing for 1 with the ability Quiet Howl. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -1 strength until the start of your next turn. And more strength reduction abilities for Amber. Love to see more Rhino cards. I think this could be one that goes into those Amber Emerald decks that kind of want to be putting your cards under the sea, or maybe even bounce back to your hand with something like the Muses. So Dino is kind of a nice way to do that.
Rhino.
Dino. It's because I'm reading the card in German.
Rhino.
Rhino. And then the last card for us in Amber, we have Darling Dear Beloved Wife, a 5-cost inkable, 4/4 questing for 1 with the ability How Sweet. When you play this character, chosen character gets +2 law this turn. And yeah, a fun one. I don't know. I feel like her cost is maybe a little bit high to use her in an aggro deck, but maybe in more of a mid-range Amber deck, it could be a good way to close a game and get that surprise lore. Yeah, of course, it does rely on your opponent and on you having a character on board able to quest. But I mean, being able to drop this and make a Daisy quest for 4, pretty good.
I'm seeing at the art, which is stunning, and I just can't think that the chair looks so uncomfortable. I feel like I'm sitting in the chair, it will break as well because I'm so heavy.
No,
but it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It's just so skinny and uncomfortable.
That's what you notice, the furniture and the
It's
cards.
like the furniture. Yeah. I love the lighting. I love everything. Yeah,
it's beautiful. So that will do us for Amber. So let's drop it in. Yeah. And actually, we have some dining chairs in our house that are incredibly uncomfortable because Matthias bought them because he thought they look nice.
So that's what I would have bought. I would have bought this chair and I'll be like, oh my God, my back.
And then we have to sit on them when the guests come around because they just hurt so much.
So that's Amber for you.
So starting us off in Amethyst, we have Jiminy Cricket, Conscious and Wise. He is a 2-cost inkable, 1/1 questing for 1. He is evasive and he has the ability I already forgot the translation. I'm sorry.
More is more.
More is too much is too much.
Too much is too much. Yeah.
Which is while this character is exerted. I love cards not in English. While this character is exerted, opposing characters with rush. Enter exerted. The worst part is.
Listen, no, I think this effect is super interesting. Let's say again. So while this character is exerted, opposing characters with rush will enter exerted, meaning they cannot challenge.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Which is super cool. You're turning off rush. Yeah. So your target's rush
and
is
protecting your character. So really a good one in an aggro deck. So I'm losing all my words. Yeah, a good one in an aggro deck to protect some of your characters, like being able to stop a Madam Mim rushing in and banishing one of your characters.
It's insane.
Yeah, of course he has evasive, so you can quest with him, and your opponent isn't able to rush characters in. They can't even rush in Peter Pan Shadow Finder.
Exactly.
So it's really cool one actually.
I like it. Obviously, he won't stay on the board for too long, even being evasive. Really, I think people have to take him down so fast.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. I love the art. I love Pinocchio in general. So I'm very happy with the legendary Pinocchio as well. Imagine getting an enchanted Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah,
that'd be so cool. But we already have the Bambi as enchanted. So if they do another character, which I don't think they will,
I think
it's probably going to be a Sing Together or an action.
Yeah.
But I wish they would pick Pinocchio or Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah.
Yes. It's such a cool card.
And this is probably the same art, right? Because as part of the same scene where Pinocchio is doing the kind of like
I think Pinocchio's running with
he's hung with the strings, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Jiminy
Cricket.
And
there's the strings, so maybe it is.
So this is part of the Palace heist, and apologies to our French viewers. We actually live in Montreal. I'm taking French classes and I'm still not
one day we will know how to translate straight away.
Some words are fine, but next up we have Madam Mim up to no good, a 3-cost inkable, a 4/3 questing for 1 vanilla. So just another reasonably started Madam Mim character for your decks that you can use as a shift target for the new Rhinoceros.
So there were theories online that I don't think I agree yet.
Okay.
But people are saying that they feel like with this, it means that Madam Mim Fox is probably not getting into the rotation. Because why would you ever have a same stat character and chose this over Madam Mim Fox?
Yeah, you don't need to bounce the character back to hand play her, but it's the same stat line.
You're right, but it's the same stat line. It's not rush. It's but you don't need to bounce. You're right. Yeah. I don't think I don't read it like this, to be honest, but maybe. Right, we'll find out. I hope that's not the case because I love the card.
I love this card as well. Actually, the way she's dressed reminds me so much of the way my grandma used to dress.
So I love the hint to right answer. It's like use me to bounce, and that's it.
And then the last card for us in Amethyst is this Elsa, Fierce Protector, 4-cost inkable, 3/4 questing for 1, with the ability Ice Over, pay 1, choose and discard a card, exert chosen opposing character. And actually, I think quite a strong ability. In Amethyst, you are drawing a lot of cards, so you're often not going to mind discarding one and being able to pay 1 and discard a card to exert an opposing character. We know how impactful it is being able to exert a character with Elsa, the 5th Spirit. And having something like this on the board, of course, the thing to say is there are no restrictions. If you have 10 ink and you have 10 cards in your hand, you could do this 10 times. So, I do really like this one. I think people are going to find some fun ways to make use of this.
That is insane, actually. I didn't realize that you did not have to exert her to do that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You can even I can even quest with her and use the effect, right? She's pretty much an item at that point, right? But an item that can be targeted. That's super cool. Yeah.
Agreed. And okay, so let's drop Elsa and those other cards into the tracker. Why are you laughing? It's because I did a funny voice. It's late. It's hard covering so many reveals in 1 week. But
we're tired.
We're
it's
almost
Sunday.
there.
I'm so hungry. Did we have lunch today?
We did have lunch.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry. But anyway, that's Amethyst for you. And just before we go to the next ink color, let's talk about Heavy Play.
Let's talk about Heavy Play, the sponsors of today's video. Heavy Play have their Equip Mag system that allows you to connect your deck box to your dice box and your playmat, all with the power of magnets. It's super cool, makes it really easy to switch between tables when you're playing at tournaments. And they also have their curved sleeves with curved corners. It means you'll never have a card upside down in your deck again. If you want to get your hands on any Heavy Play products, you can visit them at heavyplay.com and use the discount code Inkborn10 to get 10% off at checkout. So definitely check them out. Thanks so much to Heavy Play for sponsoring this video, and let's start Emerald.
Let's do it.
And we're going to be starting off with Cha-Cha Junior Chipmunk, 4-cost inkable, 3/3 questing for 1, and she has the ability Among Kindred Spirits. When you play this character, if you have a character called Tipo in play, chosen opposing character gains Reckless until the start of your next turn. So we only have one Tipo so far in the game in Sapphire. Can we expect more Tipos? Probably. But right now I think Cha-Cha is so limited by her, like the need to have a Tipo character in play, that I'm not so sure. But if you do play her in a Sapphire Emerald deck, you can play Tipo on 2 and then immediately play Cha-Cha the next turn. So yeah, maybe there's something there, but we'll have to see if we get some more Tipos. But super cute card, and I'd love to see her putting her Junior Chipmunk skills to the test to help with the heist on the palace. Next up in Emerald, we have Fred, Major Science Enthusiast, a 3-cost inkable, 2/3 questing for 2, with the ability Spitting Fire. When you play this character, you may banish chosen item, doing a very good impression of Benja. Their same stats and ability. So if you wanted some more item removal and you didn't want to run Steel, you could run Fred. And I do love, obviously, he's the only Big Hero 6 character that doesn't have the inventor tag, of course, because he's not an inventor. But yeah, really cool. And it's great to see him in his upgraded suit from the second part of the film.
He should just be called Rich classification.
Honor
of a mansion.
Yes. Next, we have Gadget Hackwrench, a quirky scientist, a 4-cost inkable, 3/2 questing for 2, with the ability Golly. When you play this character, if an opponent has more cards in their hand than you may draw a card. So they've often said that Emerald, one of its identities is abilities that allow you to kind of come back from behind, and this is an example of that. We've seen it with the Clarabelle card, and now we've got Gadget Hackwrench. And if you wanted to run Emerald Sapphire, then she is a shift target for your other Gadget card. So yeah, so that's that.
It's nice looking at the piece of lore, because she's actually going inside the scarab. So she's just mounted, and she's figuring out the power source based on the description. So I wonder if she's going to have any play on the heist.
Yeah.
Maybe in the part of the story, she's one of the ones
that's
true.
I do love the narrative through line of all of the cards. It's so fun piecing together the story. It's just
building up, right? The more and more we see,
So let's drop those Emerald cards into the tracker. It's getting full. We're getting toward the end of it. And then we'll go over to Ruby. And Cricky is starting us off in Ruby. He is a part of the team, which is good for him. 4-cost inkable, 4/3 questing for 1, with the ability at her side. While you have 2 or more other exerted characters in play, this character gains +2 lore. So yeah, a nice one if you want to build maybe more of an aggressive Ruby deck. Maybe, I mean, I suppose you're going to pair it with Steel, probably a card like this. So your other characters can be challenging and gaining lore that way, and then Cricky himself can be questing. But actually, you know, a 4/3, it's pretty decent stats as well if he does need to challenge, and really cute card. Like, absolutely love the look of this card.
I like the hint of Mushu behind Mulan, so you get a little bit of everyone. But super cool. Would you play that? Do you think people will play this card? I think it's hard, right?
I think it's hard as well. Maybe in limited formats, it could be a good one, being able to quest for 3. But I think the problem is it requires setup before rather than after. So you need to have those 2 characters in play already, and then to be able to exert them, rather than something you can set up after Cricky is played, unless you rush in something and exert a character that way. So yeah, right now I'm not super sure, but hopefully. It's super cute card. Next up, we have Alice Courageous Keyholder, a 4-cost inkable, 2/4 questing for 2, and she has the ability This Way Out. When you play this character, ready chosen damaged character of yours They can't quest for the rest of the turn. A very similar effect to Le Fou, a card that I used to see play back all the way back in set 1. And as Matteo said, this is the first, I think, Storyborn Alice we're seeing in the game. Every other one has been either a Dreamborn or a Floodborn, so it's finally great to see her in all of her Storyborn glory.
And she's holding the same key that Pinocchio had, eh? So I wonder if they're passing to each other. That's the heist. There has to be a heist, right? Yeah. So getting the key, let's go to the next room. And then she picks
and she's getting chased by the scarabs trying to protect it. And really cool. Really, really cool. And then the last one we have today for Ruby is this item, a 1-cost item, the Sword of Shan Yu. With the ability Worthy Weapon, exert this item, exert one of your characters, ready chosen character. They can't quest for the rest of this turn. And I mean, I think it's okay.
It's tricky, right? Because you're putting another character of yours in danger.
Yeah.
To ready another character of yours, so it has so much requests or requirements to make it work. But it is interesting
because I was even thinking like you could use it with a bodyguard, so you don't mind exerting a bodyguard, but then you're readying something, so you don't even need to protect them with a bodyguard necessarily, unless you're protecting them.
No, but if there's more people on the board,
if there are multiple characters, I suppose maybe you could ready a character, exert the bodyguard, and then use that character to challenge, and then the bodyguard's protecting them since it's Ruby. But I'm not so sure right now. I think there are probably better ways to ready your characters. But even so, let's drop that and the other cards into the tracker for Ruby. Up first for us in Sapphire is Pouncing Practice, a 2-cost inkable action. Chosen character gets -2 strength this turn. Chosen character of yours gains evasive this turn. So, and probably a tech card there if you need to deal with Diablo or another evasive threat. But other than that, I don't know. I don't think this one is the best card in the set.
It's so beautiful, though. Yeah. Like, I love this and the earlier Sing Together songs we saw. Yeah. I just love when we see more of Lion King when they are young and kittens. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah, and
more Zazu.
Yeah, and you can see there the influence of Jafar with all of the sand
everywhere
coming into to corrupt all of that beautiful greenery of Arcasia's island. Next up, we have Mrs. Potts, head housekeeper. Sorry, another card shared in pretty low quality. A 3-cost inkable, 2/4 questing for 1. With the ability Clean Up, exert her, banish one of your items, draw a card, doing a very similar effect as Hiram, a not very good Hiram impression, I think. I mean, maybe you could use this ability, but I think there are probably better ways to draw a card.
And we even talked about, I think, the last video we did, there was another Hiram Temu from Temu. And this is even more Temu'd. I think that's even probably not your second choice either, probably the third choice. I'm not sure. But it will fit for some
I think for people building item decks, maybe this is another way to draw cards. And then the last card we have here in Sapphire is Belle's Favorite Book, a 3-cost uninkable item with the ability Chapter 3, exert, banish one of your other items, put the top card of your deck into your inkwell face down and exert it. So another way to accelerate ink. Personally, I'm not convinced right now just because it requires that setup. You've got to have the item in play. And then you've got to be able to banish that item. So, I mean, maybe with a popsicle, the popsicle, of course, replaces itself, so it's not so bad. But I don't know. I feel like I would rather probably just run something like the Heart of Tefiti. Yes, it has a cost to use, but so does Belle's Favorite Book. It's just the cost to use the Heart of Tefiti as ink rather than banishing an item. And that's something you can kind of do without requiring that setup. So,
and it's inkable as well.
And it's inkable, but maybe it's another card that's going to be rotated out. That's how I feel like I'm analyzing every card now. It's like maybe it's gonna be rotated out, but just an okay one in my opinion. And that is it for Sapphire. So let's drop those into the tracker. Maybe we need like tracker music or something. When
I know, I'm tired of doing this with my hands.
You're gonna get carpal tunnel syndrome. So then let us go over to Steel. And yes, more Pigeons for us in Steel. And we're going to start with the Vinny Green Pigeon. 3-cost uninkable, 1/4 questing for 1. With the ability Learning Experience during an opponent's turn. Whenever one of your other characters is banished, you gain 1 law. Which actually a very, very cool ability. A great bit of insurance, really, against something like Be Prepared. It also means that if your opponent has songs maybe that they're planning to banish your characters with, they have to really deal with Vinny before they can deal with your other characters. Otherwise, it's just going to push you closer to the finish line. So yeah, I would be less scared if my opponent was going to play a CC empowered sibling or something. If I just played Vinny, because then I'm going to gain some lore for it. So I think a really good one for more aggressive steel decks. Like I definitely could see this in a deck like Sapphire Steel, a great way to help you close the game, get over the finish line against Ruby decks, which can often be quite tricky for you. So yeah, this is a card I think is going to be a sleeper. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on it. Probably try and include a couple of copies.
And that's the promo that we said will likely be as a promo for in the other Reveals
Pigeons game.
That's a good guy.
I hope so. I'd love a promo card of this. And then our third and final Pigeon is Bobby, a purple Pigeon, a 3-cost inkable, a 4/2 questing for 1 bodyguard. So pretty reasonable stats. I think unfortunately it's a bodyguard that's probably not going to last too long. But it as a 4-strand, it means pretty much anything that's going to trade and challenge into it in that part of the game is going to be banished in the process. So.
And he can be healed, right? That's what we're saying. There's the synergy with the other Pigeon with setting number that will heal him every time. But again, 2 willpower points. It might.
But if you put him in a deck that can give him resist, like the Cogs with Grandfather Clock, if he gets reprinted, then it could be. And of course, we've still got 1 set, even if he doesn't get reprinted. But yeah, giving this character resist, then becoming a 4/2 with resist could be really powerful indeed. And then the last card for us today is Ariana, Queen of Corona, a 5-cost inkable, 5/5 questing for 2. And it took us a while to remember where Ariana was from, and she is from Tangled. She is the mother of Rapunzel.
The real mother. Because when we were talking about that in our LGS, they were like, "But Mother Gothel is her mother."
We were.
So, no, she's like her kidnapper. She's not her mother.
Yeah, this was revealed during our set championship, and we were playing with some people who aren't big Disney fans, shall we say? So they were,
They're like, "Who's that?" I can see, like, she literally has clearly Rapunzel's face, right? It's the same face when Rapunzel gets brunette at the end. Spoiler alert. But it's nice. It's vanilla.
It is vanilla. Yes. And we'll drop her and the rest of the cards into the tracker.
There you go.
And that will do us for today. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, as always, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, because we're going to have more reveals, probably just one more reveal video coming out, but we're going to have plenty more content, including starter deck gameplay, guides,
a dedicated enchanted video, as we always do as well. Analyzing the art and everything. Guides,
more guides for the Palace Heist. So for sure, check it out, because there's going to be a lot of content. And let us know down in the comments what your favorite card has been from this batch of reveals. I think actually we got some really interesting stuff this time around, so I'll be curious to hear.
And of course, thank you so much for Heavy Play for sponsoring this video. And if you want to find out more, access any products, don't forget to use Inkborn 10 at checkout. The link is just now in the description of this video.
Yeah, and if you don't want to click links, heavyplay.com. You can buy your products there.
Exactly. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the YouTube members. Your support means everything. And stay tuned. And until next time, happy questing.
Happy questing.